Welcome to Sar PODCAST. And in this episode, we're going to be diving into our Abeka homeschool experience. But first, our first segment is, what have we been reading lately? Or so far? Or sometime?
So basically, pick a book we want to talk about and talk about it.
Yeah.
Because you put zero restrictions on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a book you're reading, or a book that you want to be reading, maybe, you think?
A book you're reading.
A book I'm reading. Currently. Unless somebody else wants to start. Good job.
Stop saying that. That is absolutely abhorrent behavior. It will not be tolerated.
Anyway, what I have been reading lately. A week ago Thursday I started the Ranger's Apprentice series, and now I am on book 10, which is, no wait, I'm on book 9. I'm on book 9. No, I'm on book
Abeka homeschool real coming in strong.
I'm on book 8. And it's the Kings of Clonmel, and the two Rangers and the Knight are traveling to a foreign country to try to abolish this cult that has sprung up.
Sounds like a noble cause.
Mm-hmm.
You make that sound a whole lot less exciting than it actually was.
No, it's very exciting. It ends with a single combat.
Well,
Every book that ends with a single combat is amazing.
Okay. I have not read anything because I'm in stinking college and I don't have time to do any reading anymore. So that's great.
You could maybe talk about Midori
What is a
Chronicles?
book you've read recently?
What was the last book you read?
Like a mix of 8 or 9. Midori Chronicles is the most recent that I really liked, so yeah.
That was Vardacia, which I was on one of the podcasts. It's a very good series.
So what is that book? What is it about?
Spoilers. I can't tell you what it's the last in the series, the Midori Chronicles series. It's really complicated. Why is that on your wall?
The Midori Chronicles?
What? If you think I'm cute now, wait till you see me in my cowgirl boots. Is that what it says?
Yes.
Probably.
When did you get that?
Ages ago.
Was that a Secret Sister thing?
It might have been.
I've never seen it before in my life.
It's because you haven't been in here in forever.
Okay.
The door is blockaded.
Anyway, the Midori Chronicles in general is about a gal who gets transported away from Earth and finds a school, a Carne Academy, which is like a bunch of people with special powers, and it's a bunch of cool classes, and then she gets caught up in some
Narnia,
sort of
basically.
epic battle with a villain. Classic, but it's awesome. I love it.
So these are both sci-fi books, right? Sci-fi?
More like
fantasy.
Fantasy? Fiction? Okay.
Fantasy more than sci-fi. There's a little bit of sci-fi in Midori Chronicles, but it's really not a lot.
So kind of more along the lines of like Lord of the Rings rather than sci-fi per se.
Sort of. It's more like a modern fantasy.
Like
I
I
would say.
said, it's kind of a mixture between Harry Potter and Narnia. Somewhere in that general zone.
Okay, so
High
I've
school version.
read one book from one of those series, and since
Wow.
I'm homeschooled, I'll let you
You
guess
haven't
which
read
one.
Narnia? Or you haven't read all of Narnia?
No, I read The Lion, the Witch, and the
You
Wardrobe
really
in
need
second
to-
grade.
You really need to read them. You're never too old for Narnia. And you need to read Narnia.
I'm
Those
not
are
saying
my
I'm too
favorite
old,
books.
I'm saying I'm too busy.
No, but you need to read Narnia. You're not too busy to read your other books.
It's a perfect segue into the book I'm currently reading. So, the book I'm currently reading is not my favorite book, but I'm suffering through it because we're reading the O'Malley series after the Lord of the Rings series, and after The Witness, which is by D. Henderson. The book I'm currently reading is Unspoken, also by D. Henderson. Her later books are not my favorite. They're too long, not enough action, too much romance. The O'Malley series is awesome, though. Highly recommended. You probably should
And
have
no
your
one
mic
could
on if
hear
you're
that.
going to comment. What are you oohing and awing about?
Just remembering the horrifying scenes in some of D. Henderson's later books. Like, do we really need to know what they taste like when they kiss? Just do we need
I
to
think
know
that
that?
that was the Uncommon Heroes series, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one actually was before. Cassandra just fell off the bed.
Yep. So skilled. Graceful.
Grace and poise. Grace and poise. So anyway, I think the Uncommon Heroes series was before these ones. This series, if you will, is Full Disclosure, Unspoken, and then Undetected.
Unmasked.
No. Unmasked, I'm sure will
Undetected
come
was
out after this
really-
pandemic.
Oh, good lord. Please no.
Oh, please, if D. Henderson does anything. I could see her doing that, though. Honestly.
She might. I've kind of given up on the newer books. I really like the O'Malley series. The Witness was awesome, and I'm not going to say anything about it because it's the next book we're reading, and it's going to kill you. So good.
I still haven't read Danger in the Shadows.
That'll be the second book we read after the one we're on.
Yeah.
We're on the last Lord of the Rings book now, almost halfway through.
That'd be cool.
So, anyway,
I am
that's
also currently reading 6 other books aside from Ranger's Apprentice, but I chose Ranger's Apprentice because I'm focusing on that one right now.
I'm reading a bunch of other books too, but not giving any of them much of my attention. So, let's go ahead and move on to the meat of this podcast.
I'm making priceless
It
little
would be
commentary
better for
remarks
you
and
to
I
just
don't
keep your
have
mic
my
on.
mic on. Yeah, but then I feel so self-conscious every time I close my mouth or swallow or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And
Also,
my voice
leaving
sounds
your
just
mic on can
amazing
pick up
right
other
now.
people.
So
Yeah, I know.
If we're not-
but still,
We're in relatively
it's
close
better
quarters.
than being in complete silence.
So anyway, Vanessa, lead us into our Abeka homeschool segment.
Why did I get elected the leader for this?
it was your
Because
idea.
it was your idea.
No, it wasn't. I thought it was Cassie's idea.
It was your idea.
No, I
we
pushed
came
for
up
it.
with
I
the
was
idea,
excited
and
for
you're
it.
the youngest, so it's your idea.
Oh, wow.
And you're outvoted.
Wow. Okay. So, Abeka, even though it had some problems, holds a very special place in our hearts because it was homeschool and it had a lot of fun
Speak
teachers.
for yourself.
And I wanted to kind of pay homage to that because Lydia has been out of it for forever. Cassie just got out of it with college, and I am actually I won't say real because homeschool is real too, but in a physical high school.
Homeschool's the original real. Just saying. It's all you guys who are in, or we're in the ones in regular school, and it's all the public schoolers who are. I'm not articulating properly. I think I'm having a fairly large sugar crash.
That would make sense. Homeschool is the real is what she's trying to say.
Anyway, Lydia, why don't you start off because you seem to be least excited with this? What are your favorite teachers?
So, it's not that I'm least excited. Okay, I'm probably least excited. But largely because my memory is faint. After you've been in college as long as I have, things start to leave. Even if you don't tell them to. Cassandra, stop.
At
Okay.
least that wasn't into the mic.
Oh,
No comment. I am not good at this.
Keep your
Basically,
finger
whenever you want
on
to
it,
talk, hit the button.
press the button when you want to talk, and then stop it when you stop talking.
We're good at this, can you tell?
Thank you, ma'am. The problem
You're
is,
welcome.
once I've had Coke, my filter goes away, so I don't decide when I talk, I just do.
Alright, so
Then
we are going
press play
to
after the first word.
continue
Catch
this.
on.
We are going to continue this. So,
Proceed.
let me go ahead and do a quick overview of Abeka in general, because we were going to do that and you skipped that part.
I didn't hear that. What did you?
You weren't listening then when
go
I went over
ahead,
the
then.
agenda.
You can take control because I'm clearly unfit for this.
You were outvoted. Okay,
Rama.
so I'm gonna do a quick overview, and if y'all want to add, you can. But basically, Abeka, homeschool curriculum, can be somewhat cultish. Not gonna lie. We did the DVD system, so we had classes recorded on DVD. We watched them by lesson and watched a real classroom happen through our TV screen. So,
Except peculiar little pauses right before someone threw a hissy fit.
yeah, or
As Mr.
bleeping
Howe
out
used to
Las
say.
Vegas.
Oh yeah, that was entertaining.
Slightly offensive. And
Not that I
bald
mind,
eagles
but
are found in every state of the Union except Nevada. Excuse me. Misidentifying sagebrush as rabbit brush. Good job, guys. Google, seriously. Holy cow.
Actually, Google has quite a bit.
Yeah, so you Google
Yeah.
and then look at the source of the image and find out if it's a reputable source or not. If it's Wikipedia, it's probably not a reputable source. But if it's Western Rangeland Management, it's probably a decent, reputable source.
I'm thirsty.
So anyway, on that side note, so they had their problems, certainly. We should probably stay away from the Bible class portion of
yeah, that's an
Abeka.
entirely
That's an episode in and
long.
of
That's
itself.
a new series in and of itself.
Yeah.
So,
So
words.
we're gonna steer clear of that. Needless to say, we disagree with some of their religious positions. Let's just put it that way. And their weak point is probably math, as far as education is concerned. They do decently
But
well
I
in the
think it's better
sciences,
than Common Core.
but
Very much better as someone who is starting Common Core.
so
Pretty sure a rabbit could teach math better than Common Core. So
they do traditional math, which is pretty helpful, but I don't feel like they go as far as you really need for college. And they also use different notation for a lot of things than colleges do. So that causes a lot of confusion, and I think they could go farther in the sciences than they do, at least when I was doing it. I think they've redone the science
Yeah.
curriculum since I got out.
no, not really. Well, they did, but the biggest thing is I didn't get any science in my senior year. And as someone
Neither did I.
now majoring in microbiology, that's problematic that I haven't had science in a couple years. So
I didn't have science or math in my senior year. I think I might have had consumer math my senior year, which was you basically use addition and subtraction. It's not really a math class. It's very good practical knowledge of how to balance budgets and how to do checkbooks and all of this stuff, and a little bit about stock market stuff. And there's a lot of good practical stuff and stuff that really should be taught in all high schools, but I don't think it replaced math. I think it should have been taught as an extra elective, which I think it was, but I should have had math and science in senior year. And I think they've got better electives now than they used to when I was in there. And I think I could have taken physics and just chose not to. I took home ec instead, which was
yeah, I could have taken
mistake.
physics, but in order to do that, I would have had to cut Spanish 2, which I should have, because I thought at the time that I was going to need to take Spanish in college, but I'm not. So, yeah, we could have taken physics, but we didn't.
You might still need to take Spanish if you're thinking of changing your major. It might.
I didn't
might
see it on
require
the course catalog.
I like how my school does it because now I don't have any science this year, junior year, and then in senior year I will have science again. So, and I have math all 4 years. We were talking about Abeka, weren't we?
Yeah. So, that's kind of my brief overview. Their history and English are very good. So their English is really, really, really good. Like, you know how to write so well if you went through Abeka English and paid attention. But basically, I took English 102 my first semester of college, and my professor goes, I don't even know why you're in this class. You are so far beyond this class. And the answer was because it's the lowest level class that I could take, and I snoozed through it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm taking 102 too, and it's my professor seems to think that grammar is useless. So that's been problematic for me.
At least my professor did not. He was very impressed with my writing style and my structure of my essays and everything, and used them as examples for the class on several occasions.
I
And that
think
was
he's
comforting.
impressed with my writing style, but he's just the rest of the class doesn't use proper grammar at all because he says he's not grading on grammar, even though. Anyway, this is not about
You are
college.
in
This is
an
about
English
Aren't
class.
we
Yes.
talking
So.
about Abeka?
Okay, so
That
that
was
was
a
my
little preface.
overview of Abeka in general. Great on English, good on history, decent in science, pretty bad in math, and Bible is a different story.
Bible is
no longer the Bible. Bible is just the opinion.
independent
presented as
fundamental
fact.
Baptist theology.
We really should do a podcast
We need to do. We can't.
on,
open
honestly,
that can of
maybe our
worms yet.
history through religious circles, but
Uh-huh.
ooh. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
That
let
wouldn't
me
be
go
very
to my
entertaining. It might be entertaining, but it
entertaining.
wouldn't be happy in any way. It'd be entirely a
Which
rant
is
video.
why this.
Which is
That's
why we need to
okay.
steer clear
See,
from
we
this
can do
topic
This
right
is
now.
why we're
informative
talking about our
podcast occasionally.
favorite Abeka
Shall I add my
teachers.
voice in too?
Aren't we supposed
So,
to talk about our favorite Abeka teachers?
I have been
Yes.
trying to move there.
for 20 minutes.
Whoa.
No, for the last couple. Okay.
Yeah.
So, my favorite Abeka teachers. My all-time favorite was probably Mr. McBride. He was really good. History was all I had him for. And he made it super fun and told a bunch of stories and really did a good job of getting stuff done. My favorite math teacher was Mr. Ashworth, which you guys didn't have.
No.
He
didn't
was
have him.
amazing.
I heard he was.
He was so
We got
good.
Miss Smith instead. And oh my
I
goodness.
didn't even get the privilege of having
Ugh.
Mrs. Howe. Enough.
You didn't have Mrs.
Well,
Howe?
I know I had Mrs. Howe, but what classes
just
you
so sad.
took with Mrs. Howe, I had already been transferred into with Miss Smith, pretty much. So she
Mrs.
wasn't the
Howe
best.
was a good teacher.
Mrs. Howe was
She was
good.
not as good as
She was
Mr.
just
Ashworth.
boring.
Mr. Ashworth was the best math teacher Rebecca ever had, in my humble opinion. So, I really enjoyed his math class. I learned more in his math class than I learned in any of Mrs. Howe's math classes because of the way he taught, and it's probably just because it clicked with my brain, but I loved him. I talked to people who had his classes that really loved him. So,
Yeah, see, for math never was a problem for me, so I would just read the book, learn the concept, and then watch the video and not pay attention while I'm doing my homework, so probably shouldn't be admitting this. Mom doesn't watch this though, so.
Wow, that's a sorry state of life. That out of our 2 followers, one does not watch, and she's our mother.
Maybe she does, and I'm just gonna have to eat my words.
so
So, yeah.
good and cringe. I'm not admitting to anything. They got a lot more lenient with you guys than they were with Caleb and I. Anyway.
Caleb
So-
and me. Thank
Anyway.
you very much, ma'am.
Anyway, yeah, I liked Mr. Ashworth for math, and then I had Mr. Smith for Bible and history classes. He was really good, really funny. I had maybe a couple classes. What?
What was it? Brooke and Martin? Is that it?
Yep.
The
Brooke and Martin.
legendary. Did Vanessa ever get that class?
No, I didn't get that class.
Oh my
But
goodness.
it did refresh
just
into
so
a
sad.
new Mr. Smith, so it wasn't
Well, that's
a total
true.
loss.
You didn't.
I didn't get
yeah.
a new teacher for that class.
But you got new jokes and new stories
I
and
know.
new horrible
But it was
puns.
kind of fun. It was good.
And Brooke slams Martin into the wall. It was entertaining.
Completely not funny unless you know. If you know, you know.
It's like the very definition of an inside joke. Like, only people that watched that class and remember that
Right.
part
Yeah.
are going to get that, which is nobody.
It's probably like 3 people across the nation, and they're all in this room.
Yeah, and one of them is by secondhand knowledge.
Yeah, that's true.
Good job.
Anyway,
Okay, so I'm trying to think. Mrs. Schmuck for English was the best of
Mrs.
the best of the best.
was yeah.
You had her?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
For
I was
crying
worried
out
that
loud.
you wouldn't
Of
have her.
course I had Mrs. Schmuck.
Who did I never get? I never got Mrs.
cried.
Mrs. Hicks. Is that her name?
Mrs.
You
Hicks.
had her.
She was
for
science,
English.
right?
I don't remember.
Mrs. Hicks. I'm trying to remember.
I just remember you showed me
She
a
was
lot of
science.
clips from her. I don't remember what
She was
class.
science because she told a bunch of stories. I feel like I don't want to 100% commit that she was science, but I'm pretty sure she was.
I don't remember.
Because I feel like I
any
had
science
Mrs.
teacher
Hicks
other than
before I
Miss
had
Stansel.
Miss Stansel.
I got Miss
I had a
Stansel
really
after
old
the
Miss
poofy
Stansel
hair.
video.
I got Miss Stansel after
Really
the poofy hair.
poofy hair. Really poofy hair. Really round, really thick glasses. Lab coat. It was hilarious. And then
Back when she looked exactly like the scientist from Horton Hears Who.
what was it? I think it was somebody said it might have been Autumn. Somebody said Miss Stansel just looks like the type of teacher you could picture being out in the swamp skimming pond scum. Like she just looks like that. Super funny.
And has on several occasions by word of mouth.
So who am I missing? I'm missing somebody important. Mr. Doobie.
Mr. Howell.
Oh,
Mr.
I
Doobie
remember
was
seeing clips
awesome.
of Mr. Doobie, and I always wanted to. Yeah, I never got.
Mr.
Oh.
Howell.
Who was it?
Mr. Howe was pretty good.
I can't remember.
He
Who's
was
the
super
speech?
funny. I rewatched some clips on
he didn't
YouTube.
tell a lot of stories. He was just like
There are
perpetually
clips on
funny
YouTube?
and
He
perpetually
made
entertaining.
Stupid puns and weird jokes, and it's just, yeah.
A very good teacher for like a middle schooler whose attention span is about 2.5 minutes.
Faux chef. Apron.
And Junior Birdman glasses. Oh my goodness, he used to. People would send him wacky glasses. From. Okay, that's another Abeka thing. If you've ever sent fan mail to a teacher, you're definitely homeschooled.
Yeah, definitely no.
But yeah, people used to send him wacky glasses, and he'd wear them all the rest of the day. He'd open packages he'd sent from students, from homeschool students across the country, and he'd wear them for the rest of the day.
Those
It
must
was
have been
so
later
good.
videos.
They were
'cause
later
I never got
videos.
those.
Yeah.
It was your generation who sent the glasses.
I am shocked and horrified.
Mhm.
So, still feel like I'm missing somebody.
It was
Miss Autry for speech.
Yeah.
She's the best.
She was so
She
good.
reads Patrick McManus.
Yeah.
She was.
Anybody who reads Patrick
I'm
McManus is a good
surprised
person.
she
They
was-
Okay, not
saved.
gonna claim that. But
Okay, so Lydia had Miss Autry's speech class video from like 2001, and Ned and I took it my senior year. We took it the first semester together, and
was it the same
video? It
That's
was great.
Cool. So
Oh
fun.
my goodness!
all the old
She's such a
parts
good
that
teacher.
you showed us, we remembered, and it was such a
Yes.
weird deja vu moment.
The iconic.
So cool.
Have you ever been bitten by an ant? And then when she pulls away, her dentures get stuck to you.
So terrible. That one
It
dude,
was
that was
so
the dude.
bad.
Everything became an
Everything
infomercial.
was an infomercial.
Everything was an infomercial.
It was so
terrible.
What was his
And-
name?
I have no clue.
I don't remember.
The unspeakable one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Another episode.
There
Or 70,000.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that episode. But Andrew was irritating. That kid
don't
who
remember
wanted to
him.
be the preacher and
Oh,
kept doing
yeah.
spiritual things and
Yes.
being the leader of the
Yeah.
What do you
he
look
was
like?
irritating.
he looked like a
The unspeakable.
kind of actually, but
Ah.
he was tall, lanky, glasses, looked like a pretty standard conservative Baptist mini preacher.
I don't remember a lot of the students in that class.
Did you know that Pensacola, at least at that time, had a sermon competition where all the young guys got together and did a sermon, and one would win, and that was kind of disturbing when I heard about that. But that doesn't pertain
Seems
to our
productive.
topic.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but we should probably move on, and if I remember, I will come back to it. But I must say, like, my top favorite teacher, like, could not enjoy his class more, would be Mr. Doobie. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So entertaining, so informative. His style of teaching was so good, and he told so many good stories, and he was probably my favorite, and I was so sad that I only had him once. I think 7th grade, like American government or something like that.
Oh,
no.
yeah. I had
Mr.
okay,
Zyla.
Mr. Zyla. Oh my goodness.
I am
He's a
sincerely
normal-
sorry.
Yeah. He's
Okay,
a good
if-
enough teacher as far as
my
information goes, but oh my goodness, I could have
So
fence post
He
would have
absolutely
been
was
more
slow
entertaining.
and boring on 1.4
I'm sure he intends well.
speed.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, and that's
sure
another
he
thing.
intends well. Yeah, see,
If
I
you
wasn't
watched
allowed
your
to fast
school
forward.
on 1.4 speed.
I got in big trouble one time for doing that.
Yeah.
Big trouble.
So did Caleb.
Watching it at one
Well,
and a
that
half
was because
speed.
Caleb used to like fast forward to where you didn't hear audio, so Mom didn't really know the difference between the fast forward and the just sped up.
Technology.
So yeah,
That would have made my work days a lot nicer if I'd
It-
been able
it
to
would've
watch it
been.
at 1.5 speed.
it doesn't save a whole lot of time, but it gives you the illusion of
No,
productivity.
it saves.
It saves
like
half.
20.
25%?
No, it saves
33%.
I did the math, and
Homeschooled.
I think I did the math right, but
It's
on
1.4
an hour
speed.
class, it saves like at least 15 minutes, which is very nice.
Which is like
because-
33%, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the
Okay.
class is 45 to 50 minutes.
So yeah.
Yeah.
It
That was my stake.
Well, that makes sense. Half of... Yeah, it's like a third.
I did the math at some point. I'm too lazy to do it again.
It's 1.4
Caleb
speed.
said
That
he
means
did the
what
math,
was at
and
one
it saved
speed is
1
0.4
minute.
times faster.
The player I had was time and a half.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
that's
that
where
would have
I'm
been
coming
nice.
Yeah.
It would have been
from. A
a
whole
lot
0.1
different.
speed faster.
Much of a difference.
Okay.